Hey guys, I'm excited for this one. This one's got me going. Another one that I really didn't want to finish, but I have, and I'm here to tell you about it. So let's do this. So, welcome back everyone to my channel, Through the Pages with Dee. I'm excited today. I am filming this on Saturday because I have just finished Luna Ruinam, Volume 1, RENIA. Can I just say, do you remember when I spoke about reading Mosha Winter? When I read indie authors, for some reason at the moment I'm having the most incredible run of books. I don't know what it is, whether I'm just picking the right books, speaking to the right authors, I don't know what's happening, but I am having the most amazing run of books. So I have just literally finished Karl Forshaw's book, Luna Ruinam, Volume 1, RENIA. It's done very much the same thing to me as some of my most fantastic reads have done, and that is created this ball of excitement where I need to tell you guys about this book. I have to. This is one that you cannot afford to miss. Trust me. So this was published in 2022. So it's been around for roughly around 2 years now. If you haven't already read it, what are you doing? Why have you missed out on this one? I don't understand. I don't understand how you could have missed this one. Maybe you've just not heard of it. So for the 90 subscribers that I have, I know a lot of you are booktubers. If you haven't read RENIA, read it now. Shove one out your TBR and get this one in. You can't be held responsible. Hold me responsible. If I mess up your whole plans, hold me responsible, because you will not be disappointed. So let me paint you a picture. We start in the halls of Venn, which is kind of giving me the impression of a library and a school. It's an educational facility, but it's where scribes work to replicate books that are of an ancient sort of vibe, or the restricted sections where you're not really allowed to take the books from. No books should really leave this dwelling, so they stay there and they are copied by scribes. And our main POV, now we don't have one POV, we have a main and then we have lots of side POVs. So it is a multi-point of view book because everybody has a story in this book. And that is what I've loved about it, because to me it has been so reminiscent of Stephen Erikson. Yes, Stephen Erikson. Why did I think I was saying the wrong name then? Stephen Erikson's Malazan. It's so reminiscent of that to me. Except the most amazing thing about Karl's book is that he keeps it readable. He keeps it where the names are simple, the places are simple. I'm not saying that he uses simple vocabulary. He doesn't. He uses very beautiful and descriptive vocabulary. But the wording that he chooses fits. It's even something as small a detail as this what's made the difference for me. You know when you get a book and it's in print and you begin to read, and the first time that you notice, and maybe it's just a little irk of mine, I don't know, but the first time that you notice that a word isn't long enough to fit onto that sentence, so they hyphen it and continue on the sentence below. 9 times out of 10, when I read a book with that happening, it throws me off. It takes me out of where the part of the story that I'm in, and I don't enjoy it when the book is published like that. It definitely puts a spanner in the works for me. I know it's a tiny, minute little detail, but it does kind of just nudge the flow for me a little bit. It interrupts the flow, and I do find that with a lot of authors when I know we all like to experiment. I've dabbled in a little bit of writing myself. I still am. I still have an unfinished project. But when you are too explorative with the names, when you explore too much and you throw in a ruck ton of vowels in there that make it hardly pronounceable, that kind of frustrates me. I kind of think, why are you making this so hard to read? Why can you not just keep it simple? We don't mind the names being names we've heard of before. We, as readers, we really don't mind. You are making the difference as into the character base. So what I have to say with Karl is that, yes, his names are inventive, but they're not so that you can't read them. As I say, his main character is RENIA. That's not a hard name to pronounce, yet it's still quite different. He has other characters like Norok, which is Renia's dad, Moira, which is Renia's mum. Then we have Terrick, who's a, what's the word? He seeks out light stones, like Renia's dad. A gatherer, they're called. Fibromyalgia, brain fogging. So the names and the places, Luna Ruinam, Halls of Ven, very simple to remember. Very simple to continue the story on and know where you are, know the place that you're in. Maybe you're a reader who likes more complex names and complex places. I personally don't. I find them a slight challenge. I would rather things were kept different but with a slight simplicity to them so that I can just flow read. And this is what Karl does within this book. It is amazing. I have so enjoyed it. So enjoyed it. I've already told Karl I had to. Before I even reviewed this book, I had to tell Karl how amazing I think this is. I did the same with Mo. I reviewed Ida's book. Ida's book you also need to check out. All these indie authors that I've read, you just need to check them out because there's so much talent. And Karl's shown that in his beautiful, creative, it's not boringly simplistic. It's not even really simplistic. It's just easy. It reads with such ease. And that makes a huge difference to me. That means everything. That means everything to me when a book reads with ease. It's a page turner then. I can just keep going. In essence, I suppose that's why I like a lot of mystery novels and crime novels, because they just keep the context quite simple and I can flow through those quite quick. I found fantasy's been a little bit of a challenge, more challenging for my reading because there's these obscure names and these obscure places with, like I said, 100 different vowels thrown in there that aren't necessarily needed, but it's just to make the name more obscure and different, which I appreciate from a creative point of view. I mean, I did that with my daughter's names. I tried to make them slightly obscure and different, but I just think sometimes we need less of that, and Karl has provided that within RENIA. And the book is titled RENIA. It's volume 1 of his Luna Ruinam, maybe Chronicles. I don't know how he's referring to them, but it's Luna Ruinam, volume 1, RENIA. So, as I say, it's multi-POV with one kind of main POV, which is RENIA. And we're going through her life, her sort of, she's at, I would say maybe, I got the impression she was maybe 18, 20 at this point, but we go back to her childhood in this story, hence how we meet her father, Norok, and we met her mother, Moira. We also meet her somewhat teacher at that time, Molan, and we also meet another person who lives with them called Carol, because they rent a room in order to gain extra finance. And this becomes a little family unit of its own. But this book has heartache and it has suffering and there's guilt elements in there. It also has hidden family ties in regards to RENIA and the Halls of Ven. RENIA shows so much determination, but so do a lot of other characters. There's an awful lot of other characters in this book that have such determination. It's just awesome. RENIA is this wonderful character. She's a formidable woman and she's encouraged by her father, who is sadly passed. I'm not going to go into the details of why he's passed because you need to read it. It's a very heart-wrenching story as to how her father dies, but it's something you must read to appreciate how beautifully Karl has wrote those scenes. They are so moving. But then you've also got this magic system that's within this tale of light stones and how different light stones bring different sources of magic. And Renia's father, Norok, is a gatherer who collects light stones to send them back to the Halls of Ven and to the Perelius, which is their god. And he gives Renia a tiny, tiny fragment of a light stone. And through her time at the Halls of Ven, when she goes there, she learns through scribing how to wield, to some extent, the power of the Lightstone. So that's the elemental magic that's in this story, is the stones that they find and the different elements of magic of different stones that it brings, like healing or I can only presume sort of like molecular clashing together, and it causes explosions with air or with ourselves being of molecular structure. There's so much. It may come across as if there's a lot going on because of the multiple POVs, but they all tie together. They all create this amazing final story coming together, because there are separate insights into separate characters and we follow their little paths. For instance, Master Vedora, she has her own story, and then Sundance, who's another character, she has her story, and then we've got Master Petor, he has a story. Grandmaster, who is sort of the headmaster of the Halls of Ven, he too has a story, which is the very, very beginning of the book. It relates to him in the very, very beginning. His son, Raylan, something happens with Raylon right at the beginning of the story, and that relates to the Grandmaster. Then we have Dale, or Dale, however you say his name. I've been calling him Dale. He is kind of Renia's boyfriend, sort of, in a way. They're not official, but they do sort of meet up and, you know, do whatever they do. And there's things that happen with him along the way. I've found it amazing how Karl has given us this adventure and this mystery fantasy, because there is a mystery in there as well. And being a mystery lover, if ever you combine these genres, mystery, fantasy and horror, you've sold me. You've won me over straight away. And this has 2 of my 3. It's got fantasy and a mystery. There's some elements of horror in there by gruesome things that happen. So there's a sprinkling of horror, shall we say? Just a soupçon of horror. So that's me. That's every genre I'm in love with. Ticked, done. Beautiful work. Karl is obviously destined to be a writer. I found that even though there was so much information, so much going on, it was not dumpy. It was not where you could have done without it. You needed every single bit of that for it to make sense. He's not done it in such a way that anything is, in my opinion, overdone, or it's too much explained, or, oh, we didn't really need that part. We needed all of it. I needed Jeff to be in this story. He's a great character. He's kind of our Columbo in this story. So Sundance, in a way, she's kind of our Miss Marple, or Jessica Fletcher. Then we have Bandak, who is what's known as a Reaper. And there's a story with her that just evolves and comes to light. And then the story with her and how that comes to light evolves another story. And that in itself played out in my mind as a film. And there's so many scenes in this book where they became like a movie. And I was envisioning the characters. And I could just see it as I'm reading. I can see it playing out in my mind. And when a book does that to me, it's got me hooked. It's where I want to be. It's where I need to be. It's right in that place where I am with the characters. I can see them. I can hear them. I can smell them. I possibly even am one of them. I'm there watching what's going on. This is what that did. It took me right there into Luna Ruinam with them all. The ending is an ending I haven't seen in quite some time. And I'm not going to say anything about it because I want that to be a surprise for any of you that read Renia. I'm in this place now with the ending where I'm like, come on, Karl. Can we get volume 2, please? Volume 2, please? Please? I liked it. I liked the ending. It's so good. I can't go into it. What I can say is that it's definitely an adventure fantasy with a mystery shoved right in the middle of there. And the characters, all the sideline stories, they leave you in anticipation for their outcomes. You're along with every single one of them for the ride, and you are really really involved in what's going on with them. You grow a kinship to each and every character, and the arcs that each character goes through. There's ups, there's downs, there's these turnarounds, there's this character's actually joined to this character and they make this connection, and it's like, I didn't see that coming. There's so much of it. Didn't see that coming. Didn't see that. Where did that come from? I like that. There's so much of that. It keeps you on your toes the entire way through. But like I said, don't get me wrong. There's heartbreak, there's guilt, there's suffering. But done in such a poignant way to the story that it's not wrong. It doesn't go amiss. It fits so beautifully. It's amazing. Luna Ruinam, Volume 1, RENIA. Sublime. Sublime. It's a big 5 hats from me. Big 5 hats. I have really enjoyed reading it. I have fell head over heels in a parental love with one character called Avis. He is just adorable. He's a child. He's adorable. He's just the most precious character in the book. There are others who you warm to. You feel this hold on, like you don't want anything to happen to them. You hope that they come out of all this okay, unscathed. But Avis was one who I was so hugging and trying to motherly protect as I'm reading the book, and please don't let anything happen to Avis. Please don't let anything happen to Avis. I'm not going to say whether it does or it doesn't. But as standard, this book, yes, I cried. Yes, I laughed. Because there's some blue language in here as well. And I like me a bit of blue language. There's one character who's called Pistorius Stain. So he just gets called Piss Stain. I love that. That's so my sense of humour. That's right up there for my sense of humour. I either laugh at things that are really dark or I have a childish sense of humour. I still laugh at farts. So, you know, that's who I am. That's me. And this book has got everything. Humour. Tearjerker. The camaraderie. You supporting the characters. You want the characters to succeed. You're backing them 100% and saying, you can do this. Come on. I'm with you. You can do it. It's brought out in me exactly the same emotions as Malazan did. As reading Mosha's book did for the first time and thinking, this is a debut. This is a debut. Renia's a debut. You know, the skill of some of these people absolutely astounds me. These indie authors who I've read so far, Ida, Mosha, Karl, their skill knows no bounds. And I'm blown away. So if you haven't read Renia by Karl Forshaw, okay, maybe you're struggling to fit it into your TBR. Maybe you just don't have the money to pick it up yet. But just do me one favour. Make a note. Luna Ruinam. Renia. Just write it down on a piece of paper now. But keep it in mind, because I think you will not be disappointed. Not one single person will be disappointed reading this book. I wasn't. I've loved it. And I've literally just finished it just before I started this video. So I had to come and speak to you about it. I had to. So Karl, if you see this, you know I've already told you, but writing's where you should be, my friend. You are right where you should be, an author. Thank you again for your kindness, for the privilege of allowing me to read your work, for giving a book so I could give it to somebody else who, Sophia got the signed copy of Renia. I hope she enjoys it. I hope she loves it as much as I have. And for any of you out there who are contemplating giving this book a try, don't hesitate anymore. Just make it a case of when you can fit it in. Don't hesitate to should I, shouldn't I, is it going to be for me? Just look at when you can fit it in, because it is an absolute must read. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, Karl, again, for the opportunity to read your work. It's been so good. I've loved it. So that's it from me. Don't know if I'll post this today, as in Saturday, or whether I'll leave it to Monday. If I leave it till Monday, then hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday. I will be posting again on Wednesday as I normally do. Other than that, have you done all the likey and subscribey things? If you stayed till the end, you're a trooper. But if you do stay to the end, I would like to ask a favour. You see down here, you've got the like and subscribe. If you just click on those, just the once, then it makes all the difference to me. You then touch my heart and you become part of my book family. And if you could just do that, just once, even if it's just for this video, it would make all the difference in the world. Then if you like what you see, and you think my content's good, and you know somebody who may want to know about this book or may just enjoy watching what I do, you can share this video to them. And that too would make a world of difference to me. So thank you. I appreciate it if you've done that. I really, really do. We are up to 90 subscribers now, which is amazing. Just 10 more people and I'll be at that 100. And me and my daughter, we've had a bit of a conversation. We think we have something in mind. So I can't say anything. You will have to get us there in order for me to be able to tell you. Okay. So I think I'll leave it there for this video. Again, if you haven't checked it out, RENIA, please do. It's absolutely worth your time. Absolutely worth it. You will not forget it. You will not regret it. And you will absolutely say thank you to me or anybody else's review or recommendation that you have chosen to read that book from. Okay, so you guys continue to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you so much for all your support. It means the world to me, whether you be viewer or booktuber yourself. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean so much that it means the world to me that you all give me the time of day to come over and have a look. And I will leave that there. So I've been Dee, and the next time I see you all, I will see you through the pages. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.